Imagine what that all does to a person. So I wonder how many of us would be taking drugs and alcohol just to deal with the pain of that existence. And so the same token, we can understand why people do it, but we can also say, I understand why you'd want to end your life, but I'm not going to give you the bullets to do it. Because sometimes we can love people too much to let them continue in what they're doing. But by the same token, maybe we do know what they're going to do, and we understand it because we would be there too. And we realize that maybe just a few dollars here and there can help numb the pain of existence for them. Are they ever going to get out of that cycle though? No, never. And some people, we hate to say it, are too far gone. They simply can't. Do we ever actually stop and ask, am I a monster? Like, am I really? Am I really the thing that I imagine in the closet? Am I the thing that I imagine other people to be? Is that me? Is that why it is that I see other people as being lying and manipulative and ugly inside and wicked? Are they the shadow in the closet that I'm really projecting myself into? Am I projecting myself onto other people? Do I see them as having terrible motives because I do? I guess the follow-up question to that is, do I? And that's usually the best place to start with every problem in life that we see out in the world. Every problem we see in the world. Oh my God, there's a war that's going on. People are just being dishonest. Having said that, am I honest? Am I honest? Do I lie? Do I at least not tell lies before I can even tell the truth? Am I what I should be? Am I what I could be? Because you realize that if all of us took that approach, then a lot of problems would be fixed. At least the important problems in our life, which are the problems of ourselves. We use that language all the time with regards to homeless people, like they're just unfortunate. What, they just lost the lottery or something? Like they've been on a sports team and just, bad fortune? Or is it a series of bad decisions that have led them to that point? Overwhelmingly, it's like when we're talking about homeless people, like they're not there because they have bad golf games. They're not there because that football career just didn't work out. They're there largely because of substance abuse problems. We know this to be the case, and when we say that, people will always point to, that's not true, because I know someone who, of course you do, probably. I know somebody who's there not because of that. But it's largely because of mental health problems and alcohol and drug abuse problems. And one feeds into the other. Alcohol and drug abuse problems make mental health disorders worse. And so we don't have to, I don't know why we're so afraid of just telling the truth about it. It's like we say, well, just if you tell the truth about it, you must be judging them. I can judge the outcomes of it. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe part of the problem is that we're afraid to judge the outcomes of these things. If you do a lot of drugs and alcohol, and if you live irresponsibly, and if you just make a lot of, not even just poor decisions, because that almost suggests you weren't sure if you should go this way or that way, and it was a toss-up, and you just went the wrong way. No, it's pretty predictable that if you live in self-destructive ways, you're going to self-destruct. Does that mean that therefore the person doesn't deserve our love and compassion? No, because we can also understand at the exact same time that the person lived that way for a reason. They were raised a certain way. They were brought up a certain way. They were raised by the people they were raised by. None of us gets to choose our parents or our environment or our families or we can choose our friends to a degree. But when you're growing up around people, you're choosing from that pool, and sometimes you're choosing what you think are the best of maybe a bad lot or maybe the best of a good lot. Maybe you get lucky and just get the best of the best, hopefully. But this is part of our difficulty with solving problems in life, is that we just don't call things by their proper names. It's like we're afraid to do it because we're afraid of being seen as judgmental. I mean, we should be. I mean, we are judgmental. I mean, if you're judging somebody for judging somebody, you're being judgmental. None of us believes that we shouldn't be judgmental. We all believe that we should be judging, but usually it's ways that correspond to our values, our principles. In the case of the homeless person that you're saying, like we lie to them and tell them, oh, I don't have any money, and then we justify it afterwards. The very first part of that story, what happens? You lie to them. That's the part that's the real problem in that exchange. you feel that person doesn't deserve the truth. You're deciding for that person what their view of reality is going to be, because their view of reality is going to be based off of the information that we give them. And so when we lie to them and say, "Oh no, I don't have any money, I'm sorry," why not just tell them the truth? "Oh, because I'm uncomfortable." So you're lying to them and you're treating them as being less than you because you've decided that they don't get to have access to actual real reality. They don't get to know what's really going on. So you get to decide that for them. And then you're also, of course, deciding how it is that if you do give them money, how it is that they should be spending it, which, sure, that makes sense. You don't want to give, if someone says, "Hey, can I have $1? Can I have $5? Why? I'm going to go buy a few bullets. I'm going to kill myself." If they're telling you that, then certainly you have the right to not give them money. At the same token, I wonder if most of us are homeless, how many of us would be addicted to drugs and alcohol, even if we weren't before we went homeless? I mean, imagine just that existence for a day. I mean, many of us would freak out at just the idea of not being able to shower every day. That would be enough to drive us crazy. But now imagine that it's not just the physical problems that go along with it. Imagine right now, it's freezing cold. And you have these tent cities around San Diego. People are living in there. It's freezing, it's cold, man. If we have to go outside to get laundry or something like that, we're like freezing. "Oh my God, it's so cold out here." Imagine living out there like that. I wonder how many drugs you'd be taking to deal with that situation. And plus, knowing exactly what people think about you, or don't even think about you, or try to avoid eye contact with you, or don't treat you like a person. Imagine what that all does to a person. So I wonder how many of us would be taking drugs and alcohol just to deal with the pain of that existence. And so, the same token, we can understand why people do it, but we can also say, "I understand why you'd want to end your life, but I'm not going to give you the bullets to do it." We can be understanding of people, and we can understand what they're doing, and yet we can still also not feed into it. Because sometimes we can love people too much to let them continue in what they're doing. But if we don't give them money, then they're going to, what will they do? Well, we know what they won't do. We know what they won't do. But by the same token, maybe we do know what they're going to do, and we understand it because we would be there too. And we realize that maybe just a few dollars here and there can help numb the pain of existence for them. Are they ever going to get out of that cycle though? No, never. And some people, we hate to say it, are too far gone. They simply can't. How do you reintegrate someone like that into society? You think they're going to be, I don't know, working for Uber next week if they just had a car? Do you think that their life would all of a sudden turn around, they'd be different if they just had an apartment? Or do you think that apartment would be a trash drug den within a month? Because they don't know how to. How could you? And again, we can hear that and say, "Oh, Scallon says that they're animals." That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that they're human. I wonder if that's what it is, if that's the this to what it is to be human. She says, if we have to ask ourselves at some time, "Am I a monster? Or is this what it means to be a person? Is this what it means to be a human?" That when we find ourselves in situations like that, we behave in ways that are entirely self-destructive because you feel like you've got two choices. The self-destruction that is just, and you get to feel every minute of it, or the self-destruction where you get to numb it and not feel it as much. So those are the two choices that you can see in front of you. Because when you're in despair, that's typically how it is that we can see choices. They're just very myopic, very, very, very focused on only a couple possibilities. Are there other possibilities out there? Yes. But the thing is that when you go so far down that road of being outside of society, so far down that road of addiction, you simply can't come back. You can't reintegrate because there's too many mental health things that go along with that. And that, of course, is an extreme case. There are other examples where things are a bit more narrow, like in our own lives. There are times in our own lives where we feel like we can go so far down a certain road that we can't ever walk back to the old road, and that's true sometimes. You can't always go back home again. I'll tell you a story about that later. But that's first and foremost in that story. A homeless person asks you for money, And then you lie to them and say, no, I don't have any. And then afterwards you justify it. Yeah, but it's that first part. It's that first part. You lie to them. They're a person. They're a human being. If you don't believe me sometime, try looking them in the eyes. I know it's scary, but you look in their eyes and you can actually see that they actually are a human being. And now all of a sudden the feelings that go along with seeing a human being suffer can flood in. Sure, we can throw up the dam. We can throw up the dam and try to stop those emotions. But that's because they spent all their money on drugs and alcohol. Not like us, though, right? Not like anybody in this room. Maybe the difference is that they had a family. Is that you have a family that you can absorb some of the consequences of your bad decisions. A lot of times in life, that's what it is. You have family structures, you have friend structures, you have community structures that allow you to absorb the consequences of your bad decisions. And there are some people who don't have that, and they have to feel the consequences of their decisions. Sometimes you might just be more mentally resilient than other people. Maybe they have more mental health issues. Because we also might say that, right? Well, they just have mental health problems. Not like any of us, right, in this room. It's different. It's always different when it's somebody else. So what is the this to which we're referring? If you remember that story, what is the it to which we're referring? What is the this to which we're referring? What is the this to be a person? Is it to lie to people? Is it to justify ourselves afterwards? To make ourselves feel better about the things that we do? Do we ever actually stop and ask, am I a monster? Like, am I really? Am I really the thing that I imagine in the closet? Am I the thing that I imagine other people to be? Is that me? Is that why it is that I see other people as being lying and manipulative and ugly inside and wicked? Are they the shadow in the closet that I'm really projecting myself into? Am I projecting myself onto other people? Do I see them as having terrible motives because I do? Is it that I believe that nobody could possibly be like that just because I'm not like that? And that to which I'm referring there is forthright, honest, direct? I don't know. Like I said, none of us sees the world the way that it is. We all see the world the way that we are. And whatever it is that you're projecting in the closet says everything about what's inside of you. And whatever it is that we're projecting out in the world says everything about what's inside of us. That doesn't mean that you can't escape that. Excuse me. That doesn't mean you can't escape that. Through analysis, checking your thinking, checking your biases, checking your prejudices. But it isn't something that we do naturally. That's not something that we do naturally. That's something that we do with practice and effort. And so it kind of goes back to that first question I asked. Do you think that most people really do practice and put effort into that? I don't know. You can ask, who cares, I guess, is the first question. I guess the follow-up question to that is, do I? And that's usually the best place to start with every problem in life that we see out in the world. Every problem we see in the world. Oh my God, there's a war that's going on. People are just being dishonest. Having said that, am I honest? Am I honest? Do I lie? Do I at least not tell lies before I can even tell the truth? Am I what I should be? Am I what I could be? Because you realize that if all of us took that approach, then a lot of problems would be fixed. At least the important problems in our life, which are the problems of ourselves. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Yeah. Got you. So, like, if we're telling it's like telling the truth in such a way that it bothers people. Yeah. So I guess there's two ways of approaching it. One is to tell the truth, and it can be the truth as best as it is that you know it. If you have a problem with people being gay, can you still love people who are gay? Yeah. Not like that. In the same way that you can, if I have a friend who's cheating on his girlfriend, can I tell him that what he's doing I don't agree with, but still be his friend? Yeah. And I know that we tend to connect it so much to but this is who I am. Yeah, and that's and how that person is behaving in both cases. That's who they both are. That's who they both are. But so I guess that question becomes, would we rather someone lie to us and tell us that they're fine with our behavior no matter what? I don't know. By the way, I really don't know. That really is a personal thing. I know that for myself, I would say that if there's something that I would rather you be honest with me and tell me the truth, because you can also come up to me. But then again, I'm a rare case. You can come up to me and tell me, "See, Alan, I think what you said today makes you a real piece of crap." In fact, I can think specifically last year there was a student in here, and he told me, "What you said today in class is the kind of thing that a real piece of crap would say." You know, "Are you saying I'm a piece of crap?" He said, "If you believe what you said in class today," because again, I just come up here and give you points of view. I don't necessarily give you mine. He said, if you believe what you said today, then yes, you're a piece of crap. I go, shit, so a piece of crap. And he said, "I still admire you, I still love you, but you're a real piece of crap." You know, I didn't actually believe the thing I said. And besides which, he misunderstood the thing that I said. And I said, "I hear you, man." But he said, "But I can still admire you, still love you." Okay. Now, what's my reaction to that? You're a piece of crap. We're both pieces of crap, but you're a stinkier piece of crap. I could get mad at him for telling me the truth. But I guess there's that distinction. Is he telling me because he wants me to be a better person? Yeah. He's telling me that because he wants me to be a better person. Now, does that mean that he has the crystal ball and the key to all things better persons? No, he could be completely wrong about what it is to be a better person. Again, I don't know how much we think about those principles. If this is a person who has never really thought about these principles,